business owners and executives from around the Valley. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Business Leaders right here on KMPH Fox 26. I'm Lance Cardoza, and this show is a special show. It's a good friend of mine in the studios, Dr. W. Jared Mosely. And it's Jared W. Mosely.
It's Jared W. Mosely, yes.
Mosely.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Lance.
Is there another Jared in your family?
No.
But you do have a twin brother.
I have a twin brother. His name's Justin.
Justin.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Dr. Mosely, I wanted to get right to it because there's a lot to talk about, and I know you're the team dentist of the Fresno Grizzlies, and how cool is that? And this is one of those shows too. When you look at what we have. We got the national championship ring of the Fresno Grizzlies, and that was in 2015. That was a special year with the Grizzlies.
That was a really special year. We had Tony D as our manager. Dyer Miller is our pitching coach, and Dale Robinson. What fantastic! A lot of great guys. You see them all spread out all over Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah.
That played for us here.
And played for right
here. On that national championship.
And when the Grizzlies are in town, I find this very interesting that at your offices, at your dentist office, that you have a chair that's always open when the team is here in town, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, emergencies could happen.
Anytime. It could happen during batting practice, it could happen during the workouts, it could happen during the game, it could happen after the game.
Yeah.
And we've had that.
Yeah, we've had that. And when you watch Major League Baseball today, you see a lot of these, the guys that came through the system, and you start seeing, we were talking about the other day, you'll see two teams on television and go, hey, I know that guy, or I worked on that guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Most folks don't realize what the fantastic athletes we've had come through the Valley here, come through Fresno. The other night I was watching a game, and we've got a guy on first base and a guy playing at third. I won't tell the teams, but they were playing against each other back on the East Coast, and you're like, wow, they've been with us. They've been here.
Right here in the Valley?
Yeah, right here in the Valley.
And not just professional baseball that you've worked with. You worked in professional sports, and you've volunteered in many aspects for dentistry, and youth athletes are very important to you. But before we get to that, because I know you're very passionate about that, we showed the national championship ring, but you got to look at this ring here. This ring here is the Houston Astros. Look at that ring; it's beautiful. So the Houston Astros.
Lance, I'll let you here. You can.
I got to see it. I got to see it there. I always hand mine off all the time, but this, when we were the AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros, we had this beautiful ring, 2017. And you can see that there. Look at that. I got two rings there. But that national championship, I was going to zoom on that. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous ring. And this was a memorable time with the Grizzlies because we had the Giants for 17 years, I believe.
17, that's right. And it was a memorable and magical time.
Yeah.
It was a magical time. To get a call to say, hey, we would like to give you a ring. I couldn't believe it. It was the most amazing sports moment of my life.
I can only imagine. You probably were quiet.
If you want me to share the story, I will. I was on the treadmill at AP in Clovis, and my son was out in batting practice, and I got a little ding on my phone, and it came up, and it says, we need you to go get sized, and please contact us tomorrow morning. And I think I tripped off of that, ran through the weight room screaming, went out in the parking lot cheering. It was a fantastic moment.
And I'll tell you real quickly my funny story. You know the past owner, Chris Cummings, of the Grizzlies at the time, and Derek Franks was the GM at the time, now president.
That's
right. He has a partial owner in the stake in the team. And Derek, a good friend of both of ours, Derek says, hey, I have to have a meeting with you at the end of the week. And this is right at the end of the season where we win the national championship.
Yes.
So it was a great closeout to the year in 15. I got called into the office. And I walk into Derek's office, and he had that table by the door. And it was always rumored if you got called into that table,
it's like getting called into the principal's office.
You're most likely going out the other door, and they're going to do the walk of shame. They have all your stuff in a box. That could be happening. So I know I'm doing consulting work at the time, and here's Chris Cummings in the room too, the owner at the time, and Chris won't tell me anything. He won't say a word, and I'm like, what is this meeting about? Like, I thought we're going to regroup, we're going to talk about the celebration, what we're going to be doing since the national championship. Everybody was on a high. Everybody was so excited about it. And at that time, Derek's not in the room. Chris won't say anything. Derek comes in, won't make eye contact. He sits down, and he goes, hey, dude, not sure how to ask you this or tell you this. And I'm thinking, great. They're going to let me go. My contract's gone. Something's wrong. Something bad's wrong.
Hey, it's
and they
sports.
go,
We can be in and out in any minute.
so mine was more dramatic. What's your ring size? And I was like, that's what you wanted me in here for? Yeah, Chris was
What
like,
a great
he made me
feeling.
not say anything. So it was real special when we got our rings. And everybody in the front office got their rings with the celebration. That's
right.
Chris Cummings and Derek, I took a picture and put it on social because it was pretty special. Yes. And I advertise it all the time because it's a crown jewel here in Fresno, the Grizzlies.
It is a crown jewel, and what an honor to have that ring. Anytime you get a ring bestowed upon you, it's never that you ask for it. It's that the organization finds that you've done something so achievable that they want to honor you with that, and that's what the Fresno Grizzlies did. They said, hey, they gave us the trophy to wear on our hand, and what an honor that is. It's fantastic. By the way, that ring, if you see that is the replica of the Michigan State Rose Bowl ring. That's the model.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that one is. That's where it came from. For most folks, just a little history behind this. They're from Jostens.
Yeah.
I know Tiffany's is another company, but Jostens makes most of them.
Yep.
And this is the Houston Astros is a Jostens, and so they have a library of rings to put together, and so you can see it. And they picked that out. I know.
It is a beautiful ring.
It is really pretty.
Icky Woods, which is a native of the valley, he did the Icky Shuffle in the NFL. Icky always says, "Man, that looks like that should have been my ring." That looks like that should have been my ring, because he's like, it looks like. I always get. You play football?
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah, all the time.
Absolutely.
So, you're passionate about athletes in general.
Yes.
Dentistry is your trade.
Yes.
A lot of families that you have come to your practice are young athletes.
That's right.
And one of the reasons that I found out about you as we started to talk more is that when we come back from the break, I want to talk more about it, is that youth athletes in our valley, you offer to make mouth guards. Now, mouth guards aren't cheap. I looked them up. If you make a custom mouth guard, you offer at your office absolutely free.
Free.
And they come in and you'll size them for their mouth guard and you'll make a mouth guard for them.
That's right.
And they don't have to, family doesn't have to be customers of yours,
they don't have to be
or
a patient,
clients, patients.
And we encourage, hey, if you love your dentist, stay with your dentist, but if you need a mouth guard, we would be happy to do it for you.
Perfect. Let's talk about that when we come back. I want to talk about your passion, how you want to give back to youth athletes, and also talk about how important your patients are. And it's just, it has a cool career that you've been able to work on some of the major league athletes in the business today and be able to watch it on TV going, hey, I helped that person.
I've been lucky.
I've been lucky. We'll be right back with more Business Leaders here with Dr. Jared Mosely.
Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, to Business Leaders here on KMPH Fox 26. I'm Lance Cardoza, and at the top of the show, we're talking to Dr. Jared W. Mosely, right here in Fresno, your dentistry, right there off of Herndon.
Right.
How do people find you? And
Fresno and Herndon.
Fresno and Herndon, and your website?
The website, mosleyDDS.com. Just go to mosleyDDS.com.
Youth athletes,
Yes.
very important to you. We talked about at the top of the show that you make mouth guards absolutely free.
Right.
They can come in and get sized.
That's right.
And they don't have to be patients of yours, but
That's
just
correct.
come in, and you want to be able to protect youth athletes. Why is that so important to you?
Lance, it's important to protect our athletes. It's important to take care of our patients. It's important to take care of the community. This is our way of giving back. And we've been doing it for about 10 years now, and we've gotten pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah.
We've done a lot of professional athletes. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a professional mouth guard. You're going to get the exact same one that a boxer you might see wear, or you might see wear in a football game or in a basketball game. It's just important for us. We have to do something to give back to Fresno. Fresno has been so good to me, and I love sports, and it allows us to be a part of the team.
It was a natural connection.
It's a natural connection. Yeah.
And I always talk about, we've talked about it too, is when you talk about your team, you take care of everybody's team. Your family unit is a team.
That's
and
right.
a lot of times you'll get a couple of the players, and all of a sudden the whole team comes to see you.
We've had that.
It's worked. It's worked with me, and my mom's a patient of yours now, and we love it. And one of the things that I've always been impressed about your team in your office is they truly care, and they operate just like you do. You care about your patients, and I really feel that there's this team effort. There's not like, I hope I don't get that lady.
Right, and Lance, we're in a profession that is difficult, and it's difficult because patients don't want to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
That's not a very
It's not a
pleasant
fun place to go.
and we can make it a pleasant place. We can
Yeah.
we can reduce that fear and make it that you want to take care of your oral hygiene. And one of the places we can start is protecting for injuries. Whether you're 6 years old or you're 96 years old,
Yeah.
we can protect you. If you're out walking, if you're exercising, you're doing anything physical out here in Fresno, and you need your protection of your teeth because of the athletic event that you're in, we're here to help you.
And you've seen tragedies come through your door,
Oh,
and you've
yes.
seen young athletes that
Yes.
have experienced that trauma.
Yes.
And then to be able to see them through and see how it turns out in the end, it's pretty sometimes a scary situation that you've been handed that to try to take care of your client.
It can be a nerve-wracking situation, especially
Yeah.
when you've got mom and dad there and
Yeah.
families there, and they're worried about their young one, or whether it could even be a parent, it could be a sibling.
Yeah.
Everybody's concerned, and we can get in there and we can handle it, and we can take care of them, and we can put them back on the road to recovery.
What in your career, what was it that set you on that course? Because it's not only one that you care and you're passionate about your patients, but you truly you care about people, and it shows. And everybody you talk to, including again your team, your employees, are almost like a family unit there.
Yes.
What was it for you that sort of set you on that pace?
For me, it was a dislocated shoulder as a young athlete, and I was taken care of by a doctor named Dr. Wallen. He was in Visalia, he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, Jared, I can't take care of your shoulder. We got to go somewhere else. So we went down to the Dodgers, and we went with Dr. Frank Jobe. And I saw how those two doctors handled this situation and took care of me and took me from being injured my whole life to being mobile. And so that really transformed me. And when that transformed me, I thought, whenever I get into a profession, I'm going to somehow figure out how I can help.
How you can help.
Yeah.
And so that motivated you. And I tell people all the time in business too, it's sometimes that little vote of confidence, or the
Yes.
words that a adult says to a young mind that is trying to figure out where they're going in life, that might mold you for the
Dr.
future.
Wallen said to me, he said when he was cutting the jersey off me, he said, look, it's time for you to start using your head and not your body. That's your position now in life. And I said, okay.
And that clicked.
And it clicked. And that one moment in time clicked.
Yeah.
Why, I have no idea, but it did. And he's long gone past, both of them. Dr. Frank Jobe has passed away today as well, but I always think of them, and I try to hold up to their standard what they were at.
And what they did for you.
Yeah.
And if you're just joining us here on Business Leaders, and I encourage you to watch our past episodes of Business Leaders by going to businessleaders.tv. Dr. Jared Mosely, dentist of the Fresno Grizzlies.
Yes.
You've done Major League Sports, and you've
Yes.
helped many athletes along the way. We were talking about the rings that we both share, and this Houston Astros ring was beautiful. But the passion for sports doesn't stop just with your dentistry,
Sure.
but it stops with your involvement in sports too.
Right.
The Hall of Fame here in
The Hall
Fresno
of
is
Fame,
really,
the Fresno
really big deal.
Athletic Hall of Fame. I actually am lucky enough, I sit on the board with the Fresno Athletic Hall of Fame. We have our unveiling for the new Hall of Fame here October 27th at the Save Mart Center. It is an amazing event. It's strictly donated by the community,
Yeah.
all community funding.
And when is that date again?
October 27th.
The 27th.
Is the 27th. And it's fantastic. It's going to be something really to see. It's completely interactive. You're going to walk into the Save Mart Center. You're going to walk up to a 22-foot screen. Four people at a time will be able to click on the screen and look and learn about our athletes and about their character and what they contributed to our Fresno community and where they went. We all know that they were great athletes and they have
Yeah.
championships and all that, but we want to tell the story of where they were, where they came from, and we're doing it. And we're doing it with a passion, and it's going to be really a neat thing. Plus, it's going to integrate with all of our kids in school here in town. We're going to be able to bring them in. They're going to be able to write reports on Tom Seaver, Jim Maloney, Daryl
great.
LaMonica,
Great.
Pat Hill. They'll
So
be able to sit there and click on it. They'll see a video of them, their story about where they were in life.
Yeah, awesome. So that's October 27th,
Yeah,
the Fresno Athletic Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that when we come back. but also a great story you want to share when we return.
Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, to Business Leaders here on KMPH Fox 26. I'm Lance Cardoza, Dr. Jared W. Mosely, right here on the program. Thank you for being on. A good friend of mine. And
you are a good friend to me.
Yeah, and we haven't known each other very long.
No, it hasn't been long, but it's great.
We've hit it off and had a lot of, and we have something in common. We love our local sport. We love our Fresno Grizzlies. And before we talk a little bit more, the Grizzlies right now.
Yes.
Now with the Colorado Rockies, and it was a year of uncertainty because they were shut down for a while. So it was very hard for you and I. I was producing their television. You eat, live, breathe baseball. It was probably killing you.
It was killing me.
Yeah.
But Lance, what kept me going was, most folks don't realize this, that Lance would come to the office and you would have your meetings there and
we'd sit in your break room.
And sit in the break room and I didn't have much to do, so we made masks, sewed masks.
Talk about that. So you took some of the old jerseys from the Grizzlies during the time when the pandemic first hit.
Right.
And you were concerned about your elderly patients.
Right.
We having a hard time finding masks.
Right. We were getting calls. You got to remember at that time, toilet paper wasn't available in grocery stores, the limited services, limited everywhere. And so we decided to try to do something. I called Derek Franks up. I said, Derek, let's just convert
President of the Fresno
Grizzlies. Let's convert these masks into these jerseys, game-worn jerseys that we weren't going to use the next year. Let's use them as cut them up and make a mask out of them. Yeah. So we got everybody. Well, you saw it. We got my mom. We got Tammy, the hygienist. We got Gracie. We got everybody involved in this, and we're running our own sewing shop.
Sewing shop in the back of your break room.
That's right.
And because patients couldn't come in, they're in California, and you.
We only were able to see emergency
situations.
Yes.
And this is what really told me a lot about your character, is when you said, I want to keep my people working.
Yes.
I don't want them to just sit at home and wonder if they have a job when this is all said and done. So we're going to make masks. And we're going to hand deliver them a nice little box, the season ticket box with the Grizzlies logo. You put the mask in there, and you didn't stop there. You put a little message in there for everybody, and give them a little sense of hope during that time.
That's right.
And you were passionate about baseball, so it was a way you still connected to it.
And to stay relevant.
Yeah.
To have baseball stay relevant. It was one of those things we could look back onto as normal. And that normal was taken away from us. Yeah. And I just felt that we needed to continue to move forward and keep working forward and keep progressing forward. We couldn't sit back. And you're a lot the same way, Lance. When we were meeting all the time, it was nice. Yeah.
And during that time, I just saw there was a sense of, I think people needed a little hope and didn't know what was going on, but your employees there at your office, at Dr. Jared W. Mosely's office.
Right.
If you just joined us, and at your dentistry, and all your employees were very thankful that they were still working during that time. They were making masks. Some of them didn't even know how to sew. I remember your mom saying, "Okay, no, don't do it. Yeah, you got it upside down." And they were trying to figure out how to tie them on, and you were giving them people. And I remember a UPS driver. He still had to work.
Yes, he did.
And he walked into the lobby, and I'll never forget it when you gave him that mask, and he was like, "Wow," it was it just lit up his day.
Right. Not only was it a mask, but it was also something that was nostalgic to baseball, game worn. In fact,
some of those are famous jerseys today.
The first one that we cut up was Yolanda Alvarez's jersey. Oh my gosh, that was Rookie of the Year. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to it, but
it killed you after you cut it.
It killed me, but everybody was jumping into the box, just pulling the numbers out, and you know, when you don't have the names on the back of them and you haven't seen them for a year or whatever, you kind of. And then I realized, and I thought, oh gosh. Yeah. So we kept his number, 44.
Kept his number. And all the jerseys were washed before.
They were all washed. Yes, they were all washed.
Just for you at home,
right.
They
were all taken care of and all that.
And I remember you were in there cutting them and putting them together and
chalking them and
So during the time when you were training to become a dentist and you were an apprentice dentist and getting out there, if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
You have a great story that in the movie business you had taken care of a celebrity. and probably a movie that some people have seen, and Goodfellas.
Right.
A famous
I could
character,
say that, yes.
a famous
yes.
character in that film. And what was that like when that day happened?
That was an interesting, it was interesting because I got to know this person, and I wish I could say his name. But
Well, I'm sure out of those actors, there were some really big-time actors, but there's one that's probably on top of the hill.
On top of the hill, yes.
In that movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got to know him, and I found it very, very interesting. In fact, I want to go to the Mob Museum in Vegas because I know he's there. I know he's there, so I want to see what they have.
But it numerous times came into your practice.
I
It had
met
to
him
make
on
you very
numerous times.
it had to make you very nervous.
It's amazing how he was a very, very smart person.
Yeah.
And it's just, if he would have been a cancer research expert, I think he would have solved cancer.
And I will say this too, is I know you can't talk too much about it, but he wasn't in the movie, but he had a big effect on the movie.
I think he did.
Yeah,
we can say
the
that.
story of that movie. So kind of cool and interesting as a young dentist finding your way in this profession, and all of a sudden
What did I get myself into?
Am I going to be around after this? You know?
Right.
So you did a good job.
That's right.
That would probably helped with your trading.
It
You
did.
probably were very careful.
I think it did help me, yes.
Thank you for being on the program. October 27th is the Fresno Athletic Hall of Fame.
You can go to FresnoAHOF.org if you'd like to contribute.
Awesome. Beautiful. Dr. Mosely, thank you for being on my program.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. That's all the time we have. Every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m., I bring you business leaders. It's time for Midday News. Don't go away right here on KMPH, Fox 26.